You're a Zerg player against a Terran on Defender's Landing. Requires a different mindset in general. Okay, first off, drone, overlord, drone. Don't worry about extractor trick. Don't worry about anything fancy. Drone, overlord, drone. And then you just wait for that OV to finish. You make a couple more drones. Alright. Your overlord was late. Gonna try to do some extractor tricking or something? Or you're just gonna... That's just simply late. Like, it's just gonna... You're sitting there with 150 minerals, and you're gonna spend those minerals on larva. But you can't, because your overlord's late. So, you can now, but you could have already had that larva regenerate. I think you have a lot of viewers that are new to SC2 just because you are a big SC2 streamer. Sure, that makes sense, I guess. We're not even going to engage that. Yeah, I said it out loud, which is already engaging it. But, anyways. We're going to engage this, too, because apparently I'm picking every fight. I love how he still has more supply than his opponent. If you think supply in the first 2 minutes of the game is an indicator of anything except your ineptitude, then, you are mistaken. So, there you go. You know what? We're gonna dive into that. New players, so many new players watching, as opposed to not new players. I mean, let's put it this way. If I don't get new players into the game, and I still enjoy the game, to be honest. I very much enjoy StarCraft. I enjoy watching it. I enjoy playing it. And yes, it is my job, and it becomes a job at times. But if I relied on the old, bitter veterans of StarCraft to pay my bills, well, let's just say rent would be past due. So, it's all about self-sustaining. Is that a hatch off center? No, it's fine. Wait, is it? I think that hatch is off center. I'm not 100%. Yeah, whatever. It's not. It just looks weird. Alright, sending your first overlord in is suicidal, but you got lucky. So, I'm gonna tell you right now, go watch the Zerg guide, the Zerg starter guide. For a basic build order. I mean, you got the very basics of one. You're still mining gas. When you get into this base, if I got into this base with this overlord, I would say, alright, you know what it's time for? It's time to win this game with battle cruisers. And you might be like, Winter, you are a Zerg. How could you make battle cruisers? That's my point. Because he has two bases. He has two gases, but he does not have an orbital. And you see his factory and his second command center building. So, I don't think it's important. I don't think it's important to really worry about what your opponent's doing right now. Thank you, Iceman Round. Now I'm messing around. And I'm saying this, and I want to talk to you now. XX, hey, XX. Really? Did you... Why? Anyways. I bet you... I'm looking at your camera. You go in here and you look at this. Don't think too hard. Alright, that's not important. What you see here whereas it's terrible and can easily be taken advantage of. It doesn't matter. All you need to confirm is he has buildings in his base, and ideally if he's going to expand. The details don't matter. Alright? Thank you, Benjisaurus. 19 months in a row as well. But the details don't matter. Don't think too hard about it. Don't think about what counters a player who doesn't have an orbital has 2 bases. Just think about, okay, yes, he's expanding. Yes, his buildings are in his base. Those are the important facts. And I'm not saying you're thinking too hard about it. I'm just saying don't. Okay? Just, okay. You don't need a baneling nest and a roach warren. In this situation, unless you're going to try to kill him, pick one of the above. A baneling nest can be useful. You know what? A baneling nest is literally going to hurt you more than it hurts them. Because the vast majority... Now, Terran players might disagree, but they're probably in the Gold League. But the vast majority of the time I see banelings used by Gold League and below players, the cost and effectiveness of the banelings cost the Zerg player more than it costs the Terran. Not every time, just most times. The times it doesn't, it seems like it's a whole deal. But the vast majority, it does seem like the banelings cost the Zerg more than the Terran. So, I'd recommend the Roach Warren. Roaches are harder to fuck up, is what I'm trying to say here. Okay. So, I'm gonna, once again, I'm gonna order your prescription right now. We're already far enough that there's so much to fix, and it's not that hard to fix. It takes practice, it takes time, but the basics are very, I mean, they're called the basics for a reason. You need to go play with yourself, alright? You need to go into a game, not even against the AI, and if you want to play against the AI, that's fine, but put it on very easy. Just keep it as similar to your mother as possible, and just make it so you max out on your chosen unit composition as quickly as possible. You should have 65 to 70 drones. You should have 3 to 4 bases. You should be able to get 1-1, maybe even 2-1, and max out with Roach Hydra or Roach Ravager, or just maxed out on roaches by 8:39 minutes. Alright? So, if you can't do that, then don't worry about what your opponent is doing. Worry about yourself. Remember, StarCraft is more about fighting the game than about fighting your opponent. Especially, even at Masters 1, I still fight the game more than I fight my opponent. Alright. These two spine crawlers, but why though? You're making spine crawlers. I mean, I'm not even gonna complain about that too much, but why though? No lair, no +1, no Evo chamber, no third base. 2 more gases, though. General rule, if you have... Alright, here you go. Here's a hard and fast rule. Once again, I detail this in my guide. I saw 2 factories, I thought it might be a Hellion push. No. You're trying too hard. Once again, you're thinking too hard. Don't think so much. Just do. Less thinking, more doing. So, here's general rule. Until you have at least 30 drones, you should not be taking a second gas. And until at least 40, you should not be taking a third. Alright, I guarantee you, you will not use that gas in a more valuable manner than having more minerals. If you ever watch Snoot, Snoot, my favorite Zerg player to watch with commentary, twitch.tv/LiquidSnoot, watch him play ZVT. You tell me when he takes his 3rd and 4th gases. And don't be like, well, he's using a very complicated strategy. All he does is make a fuck ton of queens. Okay, that's what he does. And that's very easy, and it's very stable, and it counters everything. So instead of getting all this gas, you're going to make more queens. That's what you're going to do. And here's a hot tip as well, if you didn't know that. if you hover, this isn't just observer UI. You can do this in-game at any time while you're playing. Hover over your supply. You can see your workers, including the drones currently producing, and your army supply. If it is under 30, you shouldn't be taking a second guess. If it is under 40, you shouldn't be taking a third. Those are your basics. That'll keep you getting money instead of trying to tech into fucking mutas or whatever the hell you're gonna go into. That is terrible. Also, expanding there is a terrible idea. But I don't care. That's fine. I mean, at least you're getting a third base, so. Okay, so you're getting melee attack and +1 ranged. The fact you're getting upgrades is good. Just double down. Just take your pick. Don't try some roachling shit. Just go 1-1 with +1 carapace. $16 drones. How are you injecting? Are you just... Do you have camera locations? It doesn't seem like you have camera locations. You don't really have queen hotkeys. It seems like the injects are more incidental than everything. Which, once again, injects, I mean, at this level, they are important. But just generally understanding how money works. Now, I want to go a little bit deeper here. I want to go a little bit deeper. Now, this goes beyond this game. This goes beyond Zerg. But a lot of players might think they're spending their money well. A lot of players might be like, well, I keep my money down most of the time. I don't have too much trouble with that. And that's an easy... It's pretty easy to be misled by that. As we see here, 50 drones, but the last few drones just popped out. It's pretty easy to spend your money when you don't have that much in the first place, right? So, in going for those gases, and you made those drones, and not injecting, you're still struggling to spend the money, but it's not too difficult because your income isn't as high as it could be. Like I said, you can max out. I could max out by 7 minutes as Zerg. With +1/+1, with roach speed, with 3 bases, with 60 drones. I mean, that's with nothing else happening. Aim for 10. Aim for 10. And then work down from there. But your aim should be, if he doesn't do anything, and if he sits back on less bases, you should want to max out. You shouldn't want to figure out how to kill him. You should make him figure out how to kill you. Alright? That's not your problem, it's his problem. Make it his problem. Because he already has enough problems. He's got 99 depots. But an army isn't one. That doesn't make sense, but he's at 69 over 117, so just look at that. So. Also, these 6 banelings, think... Okay, I said less thinking, more doing. So, none of these weird-ass counterattacks, none of these random banelings. Let's just get the Roach Hydra. Okay, I don't want to talk about the rest of the game. That's enough. I don't want you to do as I say. I want you to do as I do. We're gonna take your opener here. Not a big fan of it, but we're gonna take it. We're gonna say 4 minutes, right? We're gonna go after your first scout with the Overlord. You've scouted with your Overlord. You've seen he has 2 factories and a command center. How should you react in this scenario? What should you do? Well, let me show you. Nope. You've already got all these lings, so we've got the basic defense. I'm setting up camera locations here. Apparently you don't have them set up because I'm on your hotkeys for some reason. So we're just going to pretend that the camera locations exist on the basis. Immediately making a bunch of drones. Overlord speed's fine. Yeah, I'm not sure about those hotkeys, to be honest. Am I on your hotkeys? Is that what's happening? This is kind of odd. I've never seen this issue. Extra NA Pro Gamer. That seems about right. But remember, you were at an 80 supply at 8 minutes. You were at 80 supply. He had 70. But you were at 80 supply with 50 drones and a third base. Let's see where we can get to at 8 minutes. And remember, the threats right now, I know he's expanded. That's the key. That's the big part. How many? We got 38 drones? I think we can afford a second gas now. But if he's expanded, and I can take down these rocks here, you can use the map. On most maps, you don't have these rocks. Why? Because the rush distance is so much further. So the rocks are kind of unnecessary for the purpose they potentially serve, but... But I already feel defended. I saw the double factory. You saw the double factory. So be confident in a few roaches, a few lings. And you know what? Maybe as a starport. Maybe I need some spore crawlers. You never know. Right. In fact, I got overlord speed. Why not scout that out? Let's just assume he does. Why not? And I'm going to be looking in this scenario, because he's expanded, to go to about 60 drones. I got that 1-1 on the way. And unless I scout a direct attack, which I should be able to do with my overlord speed, I so graciously upgrade it, right? Then I'm not worried. If I see an attack, well, I start making units. I should have plenty of time. I know what the extent of his production is. All right, I see a starport. Say he's getting cloaked banshees. Why not? All right, I got 60 drones. That's not unrealistic, right? He's getting cloaked banshees. We got the Hydra upgrade. We got +2 attack over here. I could even opt for another base. You don't know. You take your pick. I would start transferring these over. That money should go into either additional bases or overlords, or maybe a combination of the two. All right. Right. So now we're looking at 1-1 is done, +2 attack is on the way. I have 59 drones. I have 3 bases. I have creep spread across the map. I have an overlord spread. So the key differences: the drone count, the base, just the basic upgrades as well. Now here's a way to focus on creep spread. Now this is something. The way I learned the creep spread was a grind. It's I don't have an easy trick to just be like, this is how you always nail your creep spread. I don't know any easy tricks. All right, maybe put up a fucking like for creep spread, you want to do it regularly. So either you put up like a fucking metronome, and every 15 seconds it dings, or you put on a Chainsmokers playlist, and every time they complain about being white and in love, you spread your creep. All right, you just take your pick. But there's no real trick to it. What I've trained myself to do is I look at the mini map, and when I see the tumors kind of getting spread out, and another way to tie it in, that's a good one. Like whenever you inject, or whenever you make overlords, you try to tie all that in. So if you could put all your housekeeping together, which is why it's so important to use camera locations, or at least figure out a way to regularly inject, because if you can tie in injecting, creep spread, and making overlords all together, well, you just did your daily chores in a few seconds. So. But yeah, and I guarantee you, if you are able to not die to one base all-ins, and you scouted for a one base all-in, you are able to not die to one base all-ins, you're able to get up to 60 drones and max out with 1-1 upgrades on pretty much anything by 10 minutes. Not 8.5, not 9, not 9:30, by 10 minutes. That's easy platinum right there. It's probably easy diamond. Maybe you'll lose a couple more games.
$5 bucks for wrecking the chain smokers.
Oh yeah.
LMAO.
It's an easy target, okay? You can't blame him. Kind of like everyone who listens to Top 40. But yeah, that's easy diamond. You'll probably lose a few more games from plat to diamond, but if you can get to maxed out with 1-1 and 60 drones and 3 bases as any race without dying, I mean, obviously without dying, but like, you know what I mean, then you're good to go. I definitely went above and beyond on that one.